In this presentation, we're going to be looking at the importance of preventing retail loss. So we're going to briefly look at how your employees, when well-trained in shoplift prevention, may be one of your best assets in reducing all forms of retail loss. This may be the most cost-effective manner of getting positive results and minimizing shrinkage. Now, there's no doubt that all forms of retail loss is on the rise. Shoplifting and internal theft has more than doubled in the last 10 years. Both shoplifting as well as employee theft has skyrocketed, primarily due to the downturn in the economy, and theft of this nature is expected to rise, as there tends to be a correlation between the economy and the level of retail loss. Although it may be impossible to eliminate all forms of retail loss, businesses that take a proactive approach will certainly minimize shrinkage and retain more profits. Although various security systems and anti-theft devices are helping to reduce loss, it is estimated that security systems only reduce theft by about 60%, so there's a long way to go. Now, this is where staff training comes in. Research is now suggesting that staff training is almost as effective as many security systems and could be the ideal tool in the fight against shoplifting, both as a complement to existing anti-theft devices or even on its own. Now, in the next few minutes, we'll examine the benefits of shoplift prevention training, but first, let's take a look at some of the statistics and facts about shoplifting. 1/3 of all new businesses fail due to retail theft. Approximately 1 in 10 people is a shoplifter. Shoplifters are caught only 1 in 50 times. Most non-pros do not plan on stealing in advance. Most shoplifters purchase as well as steal merchandise in the same visit. And most experienced shoplifters can outsmart many anti-theft devices. So let's have a look at 6 of the benefits of shoplift prevention training. The first benefit of shoplift prevention training is pretty obvious, and it's financial. Reduce shoplifting and hang on to your profits. Staff training has been shown to keep more of your profits from walking out your door. Although it's virtually impossible to eliminate all forms of loss, merchants need to do everything in their power to minimize it. The reality is that a substantial amount of profits are currently walking out your door. Now, depending on your business, anywhere between 0.5% and 6% of your annual sales are lost due to shoplifting, in some cases even more. Now, shoplifting is a growing problem, and whether you have extensive security systems or multiple devices in place or not, an entire staff which is regularly trained in retail loss prevention will help minimize shrinkage. It's important to understand that today's thief is very different than the thief of the past. Today's thief is much more sophisticated than ever before. Now, the main reason for this is the internet has become a training ground for shoplifters and potential shoplifters. For example, there are hundreds of videos on YouTube that teach thieves how to become better shoplifters and how to outsmart various security and surveillance devices. Now, what is alarming, in many cases, these videos have hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of views. As well, equally alarming, the internet has become an easy method of fencing stolen goods. There are dozens of auction and sale sites on the internet, and most of them are poorly regulated for stolen merchandise. Now, although there are some retailers that have made it a common practice to tack on an extra 5 to 7 cents per dollar to cover retail losses such as shoplifting and internal theft, the big problem with this practice is that it'll make you less competitive, which in today's fragile economy can be a risky move. So it's important to do everything in your power to reduce all forms of loss and retain your profits. Now, let's have a look at the second benefit of shoplift prevention training, and that is to put your staff at ease when dealing with a shoplifting incident or even a potential incident. In a recent survey, more than 50% of retail employees admitted looking the other way when a known shoplifting incident was occurring because they felt too apprehensive and unsure how to properly deal with it. So training can help make your employee more comfortable and at ease when facing these difficult situations. It will teach staff members about some of the telltale signs that a potential shoplifting incident is about to occur, and some of the appropriate action that should be taken even before any merchandise is stolen. Number 3 benefit. It's important to become known as a tough target. Training will help make your business a tough target for shoplifters, or at least a tougher target. Shoplifters tend to repeatedly steal from what they consider the easy mark or the easy target, and often thieves will share this information with other thieves. We find that when this happens, massive amounts of profits can quickly pour out of your business. What is interesting is that when our team originally developed the shoplift prevention program, we worked with various law enforcement agencies, retail associations, security experts, as well as we interviewed more than 300 shoplifters to learn more about the tricks of their trade. Now, the vast majority of shoplifters we interviewed told us that they shy away from tough targets and that they would not take any unnecessary risks when there are plenty of easy marks that are out there. Training will build awareness and alertness and provide staff members with the proper tools to better recognize a potential thief and a potential shoplifting incident and how to best deal with and deter that situation. In our seminars and workshops, we stress the importance of focusing on prevention because prevention is by far the most cost-effective way and the best way of dealing with a growing crime. That brings us to the fourth benefit of shoplift prevention training. That being the ability to recognize a potentially violent situation. In the last decades, shoplifting violence is up. There's been a growing number of cases whereby retailers have been attacked by a shoplifting suspect, and this in some cases results in severe injury and even death. There are some important telltale signs that someone may turn violent that every member of your staff should know. As well, this training will teach your employees how to provide a good suspect description to law enforcement personnel, which may help police apprehend a suspect. The fifth benefit: training may help reduce the risk of your business being sued. This is now becoming a legitimate concern as a growing number of retailers are being sued by shoplift suspects for improper actions such as false accusations, improper apprehension, or false arrest. This certainly is an issue of concern. There's even been a few cases where it appears that a business has been set up by thieves. It is important to note that it's not uncommon for businesses and insurance companies to settle questionable cases out of court for as much as $5,000 to $10,000. Although staff training may not cover all legal issues, it will certainly make employees as well as management more aware of certain legal issues. And finally, the sixth benefit of shoplift prevention training, and this is a really big one. A staff trained in shoplift prevention has been shown to help reduce employee theft as well. It is important to note that employee theft or internal theft is almost as common as shoplifting. Again, this should be of major concern to all businesses. There appears to be a common myth amongst retailers out there that my employee would never steal from me. The fact is, if you have employees, there's a very good chance at least one of them, possibly even more, is stealing from you. Something to remember, sometimes your best customer can be a shoplifter and your best employee can be a thief. In fact, according to certified fraud examiners, approximately 6% of revenue is lost due to employee theft. So how does shoplift prevention training help reduce employee theft? Well, it works by getting the employee involved in the overall process of theft reduction. And some psychologists believe that this involvement gives employees a greater sense of responsibility, and employees tend to police themselves more effectively. Also, as importantly, it sends a clear message to every employee that your business takes retail loss very seriously and is proactive in dealing with all forms of theft. So even if you have shoplifting under full control and even if you have an impenetrable security system, training may still be of major benefit in dealing with internal theft reduction. So let's quickly recap the 6 benefits of employee training in shoplift prevention. Number 1, training will reduce shoplifting and retain profits. Number 2, training will make staff more at ease when dealing with an incident. Number 3, training will make you known as a tough target. Number 4, training will help staff recognize a potentially violent situation. Number 5, training will reduce the risk of being sued. And finally, number 6, training will reduce employee theft.